Okay, so this lesson is on equations of circles. So with equations of circles, we're going to learn about all the parts of the circle, the equation of the circle, as well as understanding how to find the equation of a circle as it's passing through points, and writing the equation from 2 points, and then writing the equation of the circle in standard form. So make sure that you're listening as well as writing down all the pieces of the notes. So you have your standard form of equation, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, okay, equals r squared. So your function or equation of the circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay? And to find the center of a circle, it will be h, k. The radius is r. And a point on your circle will be x and y. All right. Example 1. It says write the equation of a circle with the given information. Your center is 0, 0, and your radius is 10. So we're going to look at the equation of a circle that we have right here. We're going to use that to write our equations for example 1. So for example 1, it says center is 0, 0, and my radius is 10. So remember, for the center, we have h and k. So my h is 0, and my k is 0. And my radius is telling me it is 10. So to write my equation, I'm going to say x minus my h, which is 0, squared, plus y minus my k, which is 0, squared, equals 10 squared. Okay, and that's just setting it up. So to simplify all of this, my equation will be x minus 0 is x. So my equation is x squared. I'm going to write it up here. X squared plus y squared equals, and then my 10 squared is equal to 100. Okay, so that is the final answer for A. All right. For B, we have the center at 2, 3. So my h is 2, and my k is 3, and my radius is 12. So again, remember, when we write this equation, we got x minus h first. So x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 12 squared. And your 12 squared is also 144. So it can be equal to, wait a minute, that's a diameter, y'all. Let me go back. I didn't even read the question. Okay, it says my diameter was 12. So if the diameter is 12, then the radius is 6. Okay, so then y minus 3 squared equals, and your radius squared is 36. Okay, so, and that's why it's important to make sure you're reading exactly what you need. All right. So now we're going to look at example 2. It says determine the center and radius of a circle given each equation. So we're given the equation. So because x squared and y squared do not have anything added or subtracted to it, that means that their h and k are 0. So the center here is going to be 0, 0. And then the radius. So to find the radius, we take the square root because it's already squared. So we take the square root of it. And so the radius is going to equal, the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 4 is 2. So my radius is 3 over 2. Okay. So for B, we got x plus 3 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 81. This time we have something added or subtracted to my x's. So now we're going to have numbers for our center. So this one is x plus 3. But if we remember, in our original equation, it's always x minus, okay? So because we have x plus here, that means our number is going to be a negative number, because a negative times a negative is a positive, okay? So because this is a positive 3, our center for x is going to be negative 3. And then we got y minus 5, and the opposite of minus 5 is a plus 5. Okay, so my center is at negative 3, 5. And then we take the square root of our number here, and the square root of 81 makes our radius equal to 9. Okay, so now I want you to think about it, and I want you to give me the answer for C. All right, example 3. It says use the center and the radius to graph each circle. Okay, so again, we got to look at finding our center and our radius first. So our equation is x plus 2 plus y squared equals 64. So right here we have a plus 2. Again, that's the opposite, will be negative 2. And then we have 0 as our center. And so now our center is at negative 2, 0. And our radius is 64. So we take the square root of 64, and that makes it 8. Okay? So now we just graph negative 2, 0. We go there, we put a dot. Y'all, I'm trying to make my dot as pretty as possible. My dot here. And then the radius is 8. You count 8 spaces each way, and then you can draw your circle. Or you are more than I'm more than happy if you want to graph it in decimals and sketch it. Okay? You can graph the equation. All right. I want you to do B, and then tell me what the center and the radius will be. So our next portion, all we have to do now is figure out how, but we're going to write an equation with that passes through a point. Okay, so we have to remember the exact equation of a circle. The equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. We need to remember this equation. Remembering this equation is going to be very helpful in solving these. Okay, so we're going to plug in the information we have. The information we do have is that we know that the circle passes through a point 2, 5, and center is 2, 5, and it passes through a point 5, negative 1. So we know that information. So by knowing that piece of information, we can take and plug in those points into our equation. So we have an x at 5 because it says the point is 5. So with that point being 5, that is your x and that is your y. Okay, so my x is at 5. And then my h was 2, because right here we have our center at h, k. Okay, so my h is at 2. So we're going to do 5 minus 2 squared plus, and then my y was negative 1, so negative 1 minus 5 squared equals r squared. And my r, we don't know because it didn't tell us a radius, r squared. Okay, so let me clean that up a little bit. Negative 1 minus 5. All right, so now we do the basic math. 5 minus 2 is 3. So we're going to do 3 squared plus negative 1 minus 5 is 6. And 6 squared equals r squared. Okay, so 9. So this is going to be 9 plus 36 because 3 squared is 9 and 6 squared is 36 equals r squared. So 45 is equal to r squared. So your radius squared is 45. So our equation is going to be x minus, and we use the center that we have here, x minus 2 squared, okay? X minus 2 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 45. And that's your equation. Okay? Now, going to the midpoint. Oops, sorry. Going to the midpoint of it, the midpoint formula is for your x is always going to be x2 plus x1 over 2. And for your y is going to be y2 plus y1 over 2. Okay? And that's how you find the midpoint. So you're basically adding your x's, adding your y's, and then that will give you the midpoint. And this is how you're going to write the equation of a circle, given you have 2 points. Okay? Given you have 2 points. So, first things first, it's asking us to write the equation of a circle, okay? And we're writing the equation of a circle given that it has a diameter at -6, 5, and 4, -3. That's letting us know that the endpoints of the diameter are that's the outsides of the circle, okay? So we want to write the equation. So we need to find the center first, okay? So to do so, to find the center, the first thing we're going to do is add our x's. So we got -6 plus 4 over 2, and that equals -6 plus 4 is 2, -2 over 2, which equals -1. Okay, so this is for our x. And then when we do our y, we have 5. Our y's are 5 and -3. So 5 minus 3, or 5 plus -3, whatever way you want to do it. We can do 5 plus -3 over 2. Let me write that more distinct. 5 plus -3 over 2. And then 5 plus -3 is 2 over 2, and that also equals 1. So our center is 1 over 1. So I'm going to erase this now. Okay, I got that. So now the center is 1, 1. All right, so our center, I'm going to use C for center, equals 1, 1. So we have the center of our circle. So now that we have the center of the circle, we can use the center and a point on the circle that we already have to find the equation of the circle. Okay? And so we're going to do that by using the information we got. So our center is 1, 1, and we're going to use the point -6 and 5. You can use either one, but I'm just going to use the first point, okay? So we do the same thing we did in the last example. We're going to write the equation of the circle, and I'm going to write it up here. So our equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, that's our equation of a circle. So we're going to use that to solve this. So here we have the center. So let's start with plugging in the center. So we have x plus 1, because that was supposed to be a -1. Sorry, y'all. X plus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals our radius squared. Okay, so our center is -1, 1, and I just plugged it into the equation. Now we're going to plug in the diameter that we're going to use. So this becomes 6, -6 plus 1 squared plus, and then we have our y, which is 5 minus 1 squared equals r squared. Okay, then we do the math. Negative 6 plus 1 is 5, and 5 squared gives me, this is going to be 5 squared, plus 5 minus 1 is going to be 4 squared, and that's going to equal r squared. All right, so I'm finishing it over here. 25 is 5 squared, so 25 plus 16 is going to equal 41, which equals r squared. So your radius is going to be 41 r, okay? 41 is your r squared. So now, writing your equation is what we're going to do now. So if we're writing the equation, let's get another color, something a little distinguished, for we can distinguish it out. So our equation is going to be x plus 1 squared plus, because remember it's a plus 1 because my center is at negative 1, 1. So we got x plus 1 for that, plus y minus 1 squared equals 41. And we had already wrote the equation up here. We just needed to plug in that 41 for our r squared equals 41. So this right here is our final answer for that one. Okay, so next, we already talked about that, how to write the equation in standard, how to find it with certain set points. But now we want to talk about how to write the equation if it's to write it in standard form from the way it is here. Okay, we want to write it the equation of a circle in standard form. So we did completing the square math 2. So we're gonna have to do completing the square here as well. So what we want to do when we're completing the square is basically get our x's and y's together. Okay, that's the first steps, is getting our x's and y's together. So right here we're gonna have equation. I want you to go ahead and put it in parentheses. Okay, well, you don't have to put in parentheses first, but we're gonna write our equation first. So our equation is gonna be x squared plus 4x x squared plus 4x, and then we're going to do the y's, plus y squared minus 8y. And we're going to go ahead and move this negative 16 to the other side, so it's not going to equal 0 anymore. It's going to equal negative 16. Okay, that's setting us up to go ahead and prepare ourselves to complete the square. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start with our x's. So in parentheses, we're going to do x squared plus 4x plus a blank, and then close it, plus parenthesis y squared, okay, y squared minus 8y plus a blank, and close that, equals negative 16 plus blank, blank, because we're going to have plus blank plus another blank, okay, because we're going to have to add those in there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do this 4 right here. We want to do that 4 divided by 2. So basically taking this 4 and we're going to divide it by 2, and 4 divided by 2 gives you 2. So with that being said, since we know it's 2, we're going to do x plus 2 here. But even though we did that 4 divided by 2, to get this 2, we're going to square this 2, and 2 squared gives me 4. So in the blank here, we're going to put 4. Okay? So x plus 2 is going to be in the parentheses at the bottom. Okay? We got x plus 2 in the parentheses, x plus 2 squared. Then we do plus, and then we got to work on our y section over here. Okay? So then again, we're going to do 8 divided by 2. And so then that 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we're going to do y minus 4. So negative 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. And we're going to go ahead and square that. And then 4 squared, we're going to put that here. So then 8 divided by negative 2 gave me negative 4. And negative 4 squared is going to be 16. So we're going to put 16 here. So now that's going to equal, and then we do negative 16, which was already on this side. We moved it. And we're going to add these two numbers to that. So negative 16 plus 4 plus 16. Okay? So then negative 16 plus 4 plus 16 is going to equal 4. So our final answer is x plus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals negative 16 plus 16 is 0. 0 plus 4 equals 4. And that is our final answer for A. Okay? All right. Another way you can do this is you can just plug it in decimals. If you would like to, you would just plug this whole equation in decimals and then look for the center and then count from end to end to find your radius, and you should be able to write your equation from there. But that's two options. Okay, so we'll go over more examples of those, but I want you to try. Okay, I want you to try to do B to see if you can get the answer for B, and I want you to try to do C. Okay, so try to do B and try to do C and see if you can get the answer for there. All right.